The Middle East is currently standing on the precipice of an unprecedented regional war following a seismic shift in its geopolitical landscape, the death of Iran's supreme religious authority. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has not brought about a period of quiet mourning, but rather an explosive eruption of anger and vows of catastrophic vengeance.
In the wake of his passing, the Iranian government has effectively transformed its grief into a militaristic fury, promising to unleash the most devastating retaliatory strikes in the nation's modern history. This is no longer a shadow war fought through regional proxies. The rhetoric emanating from Tehran indicates a direct, unvarnished confrontation. Iranian leadership has explicitly placed the United States and the State of Israel in their crosshairs, promising a level of destruction that defies previous historical boundaries. The sheer magnitude of these threats has sent shockwaves through global intelligence communities, as Iran suggests that their retaliatory capabilities could potentially breach even the geographical boundaries of the United States mainland, a massive escalation from traditional localized conflicts. The gravity of the situation was violently underscored by Ali Larijani, a top-tier figure within Iran's national security apparatus, who issued a chilling declaration regarding the nation's military trajectory. Utilizing the social media platform X, Larijani announced that Iran has already commenced the targeting of American and Israeli assets with advanced ballistic missile systems. He warned the international community that the forthcoming waves of attacks would be entirely unprecedented, designed to inflict a level of devastation that the allied adversaries have never before witnessed or anticipated. This aggressive posturing has triggered an immediate and severe diplomatic and military response from Washington. American leadership, specifically invoking warnings from Donald Trump, has drawn an absolute red line. The United States government has made it unequivocally clear that any large-scale offensive operations initiated by Tehran will be met with overwhelming, disproportionate, and unyielding force. Despite these stern warnings from the West, the wheels of conflict appear to have already been set in motion, with the initial phases of Iran's vowed revenge already materializing in the skies over the Persian Gulf. The theoretical threats swiftly transitioned into terrifying reality on the morning of March the 1st, shattering the relative stability of the Arabian Peninsula. Major economic hubs and diplomatic centers, including Dubai, Doha, and Manama, were suddenly jolted by a series of massive cascading explosions. Eyewitness accounts and localized reports painted a grim picture of sudden chaos descending upon some of the world's most luxurious and heavily fortified cities. In Dubai, a city known globally as a sanctuary of international commerce and tourism, dense plumes of black smoke were seen billowing into the sky above the Jebel Ali port, one of the most vital logistical and maritime centers in the world. The psychological impact of these strikes on a region heavily reliant on foreign investment and perceived security cannot be overstated. The skies, usually traversed by commercial airliners, became a battleground of interception and evasion. The sheer scale of the offensive was laid bare by the Ministry of Defense of the United Arab Emirates, which released staggering figures detailing the ferocity of the Iranian assault. According to defense officials, the nation's air defense grids were overwhelmed by an intricate and massive swarm attack consisting of at least 137 ballistic missiles and 209 weaponized drones. This highly coordinated barrage was designed to saturate and penetrate multi-layered defense systems. The impact of the munitions that slipped through the net was immediately felt in high-profile civilian areas. Blazes were reported igniting in the vicinity of the iconic Palm Jumeirah and the Burj Al Arab, striking at the very heart of the UAE's tourism infrastructure. Furthermore, the human cost of this sudden escalation began to mount, with authorities confirming a deadly strike on the Abu Dhabi International Airport that resulted in at least one fatality and left 7 others severely wounded. The violence was not confined to the Emirates. Across the border in Qatar, medical facilities braced for an influx of casualties, with reports indicating that at least 16 individuals had sustained injuries as a direct result of the regional bombardment. Beneath the physical destruction lies a deeply entrenched ideological narrative being aggressively pushed by the highest echelons of the Iranian establishment. Tehran has officially accused Washington and Jerusalem of orchestrating a grand, sinister conspiracy aimed at the total balkanization of the Iranian state. The Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council has publicly articulated this theory, claiming that Israel's ultimate survival strategy hinges on the systematic dismantling and division of powerful, unified neighboring countries into fractured, easily manageable territories. This narrative serves as the fundamental justification for Iran's sudden and aggressive military expansion across the Gulf. By framing the conflict as a desperate battle for the very territorial integrity and survival of the Iranian nation, the leadership is attempting to rally domestic support and justify the severe international repercussions of their actions. This inflammatory rhetoric is being continuously amplified by Iran's state-controlled media apparatus. The Fars news agency has been instrumental in disseminating statements that frame the United States administration as a predatory force intent on looting the wealth and resources of the Iranian people. They have specifically utilized the imagery of a pirate to describe the American commander-in-chief, accusing the U.S. of harboring a long-term agenda to seize and exploit Iran's sovereign assets. This combination of intense ideological propaganda and undeniable kinetic military action has pushed the entire Middle East to a critical tipping point. Regions that have spent decades cultivating an atmosphere of peace, economic prosperity, and security are now finding themselves on the front lines of a rapidly expanding war zone. As the smoke continues to clear over the skylines of the Gulf capitals, the international community watches with bated breath, realizing that the long-feared scenario of a total, uncontained regional war is no longer a hypothetical concept, but a devastating reality unfolding in real time.